On one hand, we are getting healthy, but on the other hand, missing reps creates uncertainty. Eagles Nation, I have two major updates today. An explosive edge rusher coming off a 12-game season just sacked a veteran tackle. Beside that, our top 2026 rookie sat out preseason with a hamstring but secured a Week 1 job. I will reveal both soon. Stay tuned, comment your city, and subscribe, pushing toward 3,000 subscribers. Nolan Smith is entering the final season of his rookie contract, marking a pivotal year that could finally answer lingering questions about his future with our defense. Ever since he arrived, I have watched his trajectory with both high expectations and growing concern, especially after that torn tricep suffered during Super Bowl LAX. He fought through that pain to finish the game, but the recovery process undeniably derailed his momentum. Last season, he appeared in only 12 games and rarely resembled the disruptive force we witnessed back in college. I want to believe in his explosive potential, but I also want to pump the brakes a little until we see him sustain this impact across a full 16-game schedule. Is this finally the breakout year we have been waiting for? Or are we just looking at a few flashes in the pan? And this is the part that gets me, because when he recently beat a veteran like Lane Johnson for a would-be sack at the Link, he looked exactly like the player the front office drafted in the first round. He is finally healthy, moving with that signature speed and playing with a level of comfort that was noticeably absent during his early professional snap counts. However, he now faces a crowded depth chart where Jalix Hunt is pushing for his own slice of the action. Can Smith solidify his role as a long-term building block, or will he get lost in the shuffle of an increasingly competitive defensive rotation? The stakes have never been higher for him, and every rep he takes in the trenches this summer provides a clearer look at whether he deserves a spot in our long-term plan. I need to see him prove it when the games actually count, not just during these hot August practice sessions. Why is this talented defender still searching for his identity after 3 full seasons in our uniform? I look at his journey and see a guy who was never truly healthy during his rookie year, followed by that brutal triceps tear during Super Bowl LAX that completely wrecked his development. Even though he stayed on the field to finish that championship game, the lingering recovery forced him into a limited role where he appeared in only 12 games throughout last season. Here's what people are missing though. The team isn't just watching his health, they are looking at his ability to win reps against elite blockers like Lane Johnson. Seeing him generate pressure during practice suggests he is finally regaining that explosive burst that made him a first-round selection. Is this the definitive proof that he can be a reliable piece for our pass rush? Or are we setting ourselves up for another letdown? From my seat, his recent performance at the Link signals a real change in his comfort level, but I am going to keep my expectations tempered until I see him consistently dominate across a full season of game day snap counts. The front office is clearly evaluating him as a long-term building block, but they have to weigh those flashes of potential against his durability concerns. With competition like Jalix Hunt pushing hard for reps, the stakes are undeniably massive. If he wants to stick around beyond this year, he needs to prove he can handle the high-intensity demand of our defensive rotation without fading away. I find myself wondering if the organization is secretly planning for life after him if he fails to produce. But honestly, seeing him look this active is a promising sign for our defensive front. Can he finally deliver on that first-round promise when the regular season arrives next month? Now let's switch gears to the update everybody has been waiting for. Rookie wide receiver Makai Lemon is officially back at practice. It has been a long summer for our first-round pick, especially after a hamstring injury sidelined him for almost the entire duration of camp and kept him off the field during all of our preseason contests. I'm excited, but I also want to pump the brakes a little until we see him sustain that speed over a full series of snaps at the Link. Is this the real deal, or are we getting ahead of ourselves regarding his availability for the season opener? Despite the limited physical reps, the front office and coaching staff never wavered, choosing to keep him completely integrated into the game plan mentally. Offensive coordinator Sean Mannion recently highlighted that commitment, noting, "He's been really engaged mentally. I think that's the challenge. Any player that you're injured, you lose those physical reps, but he's done a really nice job. He's been locked in all the walkthrough settings. And the more I look at this, the clear strategy emerges. They are not pigeonholing him into just one spot in the slot. Watching him work through various assignments during recent sessions shows how much they value his versatility across the entire formation. He is currently on track to start in Week 1, which tells me the organization is comfortable with his grasp of the playbook despite that missing time. Can he truly handle the complexity of the offense without the benefit of a traditional rookie preseason ramp-up? That remains the million-dollar question for me. Still, seeing him return to the grass is exactly what we needed to feel confident about our receiver depth chart as we finally turn our attention toward the regular season. Having a first-round wide receiver like Makai Lemon back on the field is a massive boost. Yet I remain cautious until he survives the physical toll of game speed snap counts. Is it smart to thrust him into a starting role after missing nearly every meaningful practice and preseason snap? The risk is clear. Relying on a rookie with a lingering hamstring injury often leads to setbacks that derail momentum for an entire season. However, I see why the coaching staff is so confident. By keeping him mentally locked in during every walkthrough, they ensured his transition would be seamless once healthy. This is where it gets real, because the team is not just treating him like a one-dimensional threat in the slot. They are moving him all over the formation, testing his ability to grasp multiple assignments simultaneously. That versatility could make him an absolute nightmare for opposing defensive backs in Week 1. While some observers might worry about the lack of live game reps, I am encouraged by how the staff prioritized his intellectual development over mindless physical work. My honest take here is that if he truly understands the playbook as well as they claim, the physical rust should fade by the second quarter of the season opener. Does this approach actually guarantee production? Or are we just hoping his natural talent compensates for the lost time? Only time will tell, but seeing him back in action is a step in the right direction. If he can handle the complex assignments without re-aggravating that hamstring, our entire offensive look changes overnight. I will be watching his early movement closely to see if he displays that same explosive step we saw in the draft process, which would confirm he is fully ready to contribute immediately. When you put both of today's stories together, the picture that emerges for the Philadelphia Eagles is one of a franchise betting heavily on pure talent to define its next era. Both the final contract year for Nolan Smith and the debut season for Makai Lemon signal a shift toward rewarding high-upside players who are finally ready to seize their moment. Think about it this way. We are watching the front office balance the immediate need for veteran-level production with the long-term value of these specific draft assets. If Smith can truly stay healthy and translate his explosive practice speed into real-game sacks, our defense changes its entire ceiling. Simultaneously, watching a rookie like Lemon integrate into the offense suggests our coaching staff feels comfortable trusting his mental preparation despite the missed time. It creates a fascinating dynamic where the team is pushing for results now rather than waiting for slow development. Are you convinced that Smith will finally eclipse his previous snap counts to become a consistent force in the trenches this year? And regarding our newest wide receiver, do you believe his lack of live preseason reps will hinder his impact during the high-pressure environment of Week 1? I really want to hear what you think in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, do not forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. I am still pushing toward our first 3,000 subscribers, and every one of you helps me get there. Eagles Nation, I will see you in the next one. I will be back later to update you with the latest Philadelphia Eagles news. Whether it involves injury reports, trade rumors, or post-game analysis, I promise to keep you informed on everything happening in South Philly. Make sure you have your notifications turned on so you never miss a single update.